I don't fucking know anymore, Cheeks. I don't fucking know, buddy. Holy crap. What an awesome day. I just cleaned up some dog shit that I thought was puke, but once I got in there, realized, no, this came out the other hole. My nose doesn't work. I got cracked in the head when I was in the Navy, and I've never been able to smell since. I can catch like whiffs every once in a while, but so I didn't really know until I got real close into it and finally realized what it was. I mean, not that it changes, I guess. You still got to clean it up, but yeah, it's been a good day. So I start off the day. I matched with someone on one of my dating apps, and that never happens. So I was excited. There was a period where I bought a membership to Tinder and just straight liked everything. So I get matches with women who I would not, ever mess around with. But very rarely do I get a match who turns out to not be a scammer. But this one, you couldn't really see her face at all. And she was 21 years old. But at this point, I'm like, man, I just want to bang. Let's go. So we are talking, and I'm like, hey, you don't mind the age discrepancy. And her profile, it said short term, wasn't for dating. She was like, hey, I like older guys. I'm like, I'm older. So we start chatting, and it's sexual right away, which is nice. And we're kind of talking about everything, and I go, I can't really see like your face. Like we're talking and chatting and going off her profile. She's tiny. She not young tiny, but like, petite. She's got brown eyes. She's a Latina, which I like. And we're talking about like hooking up, me going to pick her up, her coming over and just hanging out for a while and smoking pot and hopefully getting naughty. And then I was like, hey, just a quick question. You don't have any facial piercings, do you? And she's like, yeah, I have a septum ring. And she didn't answer for a while. Like, because we were going back and forth, back and forth. When I asked about the facial piercing, she didn't answer for a while. And I was like, I know it's a, popular fad nowadays, but for me, it's a deal breaker. I have a hang up with it, So I just was wondering before we got into it, like, let's not waste our time. And she responds with, I have a septum ring. So I was like, right as I sent that second one, and I was like, oh, I wish I wouldn't have sent that one. And then I was just about to say no offense or anything, but we're not a match. Good luck out there. When she sends me a message that says, I was going to take it out because it's bothering me. It's always bothered me, but it's given me a lot of problems lately. But I don't think we're a match because I don't go out with judgmental people. And so then I was like, I sent her a voice message, and I was like, I'm not judgmental at all. It's a preference. It's like, it's like a woman saying you can't go out with a bald guy, or you can't have, you don't find fat guys attractive. It's, and so then she comes back with, I do find bald guys attractive, and I would have sex with a fat guy. And I'm like, you're missing the point. I'm generalizing for women. I'm just saying I don't find. If I see a girl with stuff metal stapled into her face, my thing won't work. I don't find it attractive. Just like women that don't have brown eyes, I do not find I found Kathy Ireland when I was a kid and Angie Everhart. That's like two chicks in this world that I have found attractive that have a different other eye color other than brown or dark brown, black. It's just my thing. It's a preference. It's not judgmental at all. And that morphs into some personal attacks. So my final outro was, look, you keep using words that you don't understand. What I said was not judgmental. If you wanted something judgmental, it would be the following. All chicks with swine rings are fucking crazy. That is a judgmental statement that I have found out through years of experience. And then I blocked her. So I ripped out a podcast yesterday, and I promise not, now that I know that my bosses watch my podcast, I promise not to personally attack them anymore. And then I ripped out a podcast that was like 5 minutes straight of me talking shit. So I'm not going to air that one, just because I want to hold on to my job a little while longer. But that doesn't mean that I'm not going to stop talking shit about their dumb ideas. Okay, so when we last left, they are making me communicate solely through this app called Notify, right? And when I get vacancies, when I go through and I get like 8 vacancies, I used to just text my customer care person these 8 units, and then boom, she would instantly process them. Okay, now I send a task off to Josh, and I send a task off to my new customer care agent, and he doesn't process it. He acknowledges it, he opens it up, but he doesn't ever process it. So a couple of days later and a week later, you okay, buddy? You okay? A couple of days to a week later, customers call back and they're like, hey, I haven't gotten this confirmation stuff, I want to vacate my unit. So then another customer care agent sends me a task that says, hey, can you check this unit, G04? And I'm like, I already put that in. That was vacant last week. Josh has not processed it. It's under Josh's tag. Can you just check to make sure it's vacant? It is vacant. It's 100% vacant. Okay, can I get a vacancy picture? Dude, it's on the first task that I made 3 days ago. I don't know how to get in there and find... Hold on. I will navigate back into the system, screenshot a picture of the active task that is open right now, and then I'll come back and put it on your new task for you. And they're like, thank you. So I've been doing that lately, which is fun. But now today, Josh wakes up and goes to work. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I can say Josh because he's an idiot. Josh wakes up and starts sending these tasks back to me, reassigning them back to me. And so I fucking close them out. Okay, man, fuck it. Who cares? We don't need to vacate it. We'll let it, we'll let them get charged for a while. I mean, there's a paper trail. If you go in, you'll see all these units that I'm trying to vacate that he's not vacating. So, I mean, it doesn't matter since the boss doesn't care. I mean, this is his idea to do all this. So, that's not even the amazing thing, though. Okay? The amazing thing is this old guy last night comes knocking on my door, tells me this huge tale about how this door fell. Okay, rewind it. So at some point yesterday during the afternoon, I get a task and notify from my boss that says put a red lock on unit A03, and I go and I put it on there. Okay, so about an hour later, then an older gentleman knocks on my door, and he's irate. The door fell on his head, and he's been talking to all these people about trying to get it replaced, but he's got collectibles in his unit, and he doesn't want people to go in there unattended. Okay, when I first took over, we would set up appointments for me to go and fix the doors. My first two appointments, the person never showed, so I sat around with my thumb up my ass. The second time, I had a supervisor, Cheryl, and I went to her. I said, I'm not fucking doing that anymore. None of these fucking redneck trash assholes show up to the times when they make them. And she goes, well, we have to do it that way. There's no other way. And I said, I'll put a Da Vinci lock on there. We can notify them that the lock is on there. They can come take their personal lock off. Tell us. As soon as that happens, I will go in, fix the door, leave, lock it again with our TUL, our Da Vinci TUL locks, and then we can notify them. They can come, put our lock back in the return lockbox, and use their personal lock. And she goes, that's not a bad idea. So that has become protocol now for our jobs. That's the way we're doing things now, and apparently pretty rigid. So the old man has these collectibles in his unit and does not want anybody in there unattended. And he's flipping out. He said he got one of my supervisors to agree to it, and then immediately got an email saying you have 48 hours to get your lock off, all this very threatening stuff. So I assure him, don't worry, we'll take the lock off. You can keep using. He goes, I don't want to have to fucking take all these locks off. I'm using my, who knows, the first guy I talked to said it could be weeks before somebody comes and fixes my unit. So I said, don't worry, man, we'll take the lock off. So I go back in, I send off a notify task to my bosses, and I go, this guy is, he's pissed because the door hit him on the head. Two, he really doesn't want somebody in his unit unattended. So I told him, I took our lock off, and I told him whenever we know that the repair people are coming, we'll give him a heads up. He can meet them up there and let him in and supervise and stay there. He wants to be there the whole time there. Somebody's working in his unit. And I immediately get a phone call from my boss. I'm not talking to her anymore, so she leaves a voice message. And she's like, no, you need to get that lock on there immediately. Our people need access to it, which doesn't make sense. The other guy's still got his personal lock on there, you know what I mean? And so she's like, and that's it. So I go, put the lock back on there. 15 minutes before we close, knock on my door. The old guy's like, what the fuck? He's like, he shows me all this stuff. I go, dude, I don't want this stuff. I can't talk to customers. I understand what you're going through. None of the stuff works for me. None of the codes and stuff work for me. So I get it, man. He goes, no, look at this bad reviews that I sent. This is the email that Sarah, sent me threatening. I go, this doesn't apply to me, bro. It's just, he goes, no, I just thought you'd want to see it. And I go, I don't want to see it, not to be a dick, but so we put the lock back on there. I go, look, man, just don't lock it. Just put the lock on there. Keep using yours. As soon as the repair guy gets here, you run up, you'll, take it off. So today, I get a phone call from my boss, and I leave it to voice message, and she says, I haven't listened to it yet, but she sends me another text that says, hey, can you be up there at 4 to let those repair guys in? And I'm like, let them in. Our lock, that was the whole point of our lock on. The code for the lock. Give them the lock to the code. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, have you told the customer to meet up there with his lock? And she goes, no, if he didn't take the lock off by now, we're going to cut it off. And so all of this paperwork that this guy gave me was like, he was trying to be like the smart armchair lawyer where he's like, I do not authorize you. This is the second form of like, I do not want anyone unattended in my unit, like all this blah, blah, blah. So I'm expecting there to be a bit of a fight here. So when I ask if the customer's there and she's like, no, screw him, basically. Because that's kind of how we operate. We're rigid. We do not bend, you know. So now we've adopted this rule of mine where we will not go back to the old way, right? So I said something about not, and so I go, okay, so you want me up there at 4 to cut this guy's lock off? And she goes, yeah, if it's not on there. And I go, I just bought a brand new 6 amp battery, Ryobi, because I'm on the Ryobi system. I switched to Black & Decker. I go, I just bought a 6 amp Ryobi. I paid out of my own pocket, and it just got stolen. So now I don't have a way to cut locks. I've got a bunch of 2 amp batteries, but they won't work for. And she's like, well, use the 2 amp, and when they run out, recharge it. And I go, no, it's not enough amperage for it to even work. I've got tools that won't run on the 2 amp. It needs to be at least 4 amp. And I go, if we've got auctions coming up too, if you want me to cut those off, if I'm still going to be here in a month, I go, I didn't want to buy a new battery because I figured I would not be employed here very much longer. But if you guys want me to go to Home Depot right now and buy a Ryobi 4 amp battery, it's going to be like $70-$80. I will do that and cut this guy's lock off instead of you just calling him and going, hey, run up there and meet the guys at 4. So I have to go now and go buy this new battery and cut this dude's lock off. And which is going to start just a huge shit show. And I would call and give this guy a heads up, but I don't want, they're doing it this way for a reason, and they're going to get pissed at me if I deviate. So I'm just doing what they say. So one thing that is kind of funny though is I know I talked about this a little bit in a previous podcast is so one of the I was part of this I joined a website which I thought was more like mail order bride, because I'm talking to an old he was in the Army, I was in the Navy, but an old buddy, and he says he's going to like Singapore or something like that, or Thailand or something. And he's like, I hope to find a woman. And I was like, dude, find some sisters. I'm just absolutely fed up. I was like, I am down for a mail order bride, like right now. Like, let's go. And he goes, oh, you should check out this website. It says Seeking Arrangements. So I go and check out the Seeking Arrangements, and it's more like sugar baby, sugar. It's not even that. It's prostitution. So, and had some fun interactions on there. But when I talked to him again, I was like, dude, what the fuck? Like, and he goes, oh, you want a good laugh? Check out this other website. And I go, no, I'm not doing anything. I go, that cost me $120 to register, and then they wouldn't cancel it and everything. And then there was a super hot chick that hit me up, so like a month later, and so I did it again. I go, it was $240. So, but he goes, no, this is free. You have to buy tokens to talk. So but what you can do is you can go through and look at all the profiles. And he goes, trust me, man, you fucking love it. I know you're jaded. Do it. And so now I'm like, what the fuck? So I go and I check out this website, and I can't remember the website, but what they do to verify, you go through and you set up your account, and then they're like, okay, we're ready to verify. Say the saying, I want to be your secret. It's like Secret Benefits or something like that. Secret something is the website. But the saying is, I want to be your secret. Or let me be your secret. And so I was like running around, and so I was like, let me be your secret. And then did all the stuff, and then realized that that verification is not for some nerd that works for the company. It's for your profile. And the one thing that's cool about this profile is it's like for the pictures it says no filters, no, make sure it's you, don't have a picture of a fucking book or a saying, like these idiots do nowadays. I just matched, I'm still on the secret thing because it's funny. But this one girl hit me up and said, "Hello, handsome." And I said, "Why don't you have a face pic?" She's got two pictures with, where she's holding the camera right here and it's covering up her face. I said, "Why don't you have any face pics?" And she said, "What do you mean?" And I go, "It's a dating app, not even more than a dating app. It's a sugar baby app. Why don't you have a picture of your face? Why aren't you showing us what you look like?" And she said, "Oh, I think it's more intriguing this way. Plus, you'll get to know me for who I am." And my response to that was, "Yeah, I'm going to pass on that. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me." And so her response was, "Why? What part of that doesn't make sense to you? I'm looking for something more than superficial." And I said, "This is what the app is for. It's for superficial. You don't. How do you know if you're attracted to someone physically? You don't get attracted to their personality first, you fucking weirdo." Okay. The piercing. So, the piercing girl, we get into this back and forth, and she says, because she did the same thing with the faces, and I go, why aren't you letting them? I go, why don't you have? I go, can you send me a picture? And she goes, "I don't do pictures. I do videos." Zeus! She says, "I do videos." And I go, "Even better." So she sends me 3 videos, and they're really hard to see. You can't see. They're dark. They're blurry, I'm like, I still don't know what you look like. That's why I asked her if she had any facial piercings. But once we got into the argument, she's like, "Look, I don't need to justify." Oh, she said something about it at some point during the inside. At some point during the argument, back and forth, I go, "Look, it's it's no different from guys all of a sudden wearing a shoe on their head for attention, and you girls saying, 'What are you doing wearing a,' most of you girls would be like, 'What the fuck are you doing wearing a shoe, you dumbass?' Much less in a polite way saying, 'You know what, I'm not big on the shoe head phase. It's a deal breaker for me. I'm so sorry, but good luck out there.'" There's nothing wrong with that statement. It's not dehumanizing. It's not, taking away women's rights. It's politely saying, "You know what you're doing is fucking ugly. You're doing what cattle and swine and East African tribesmen and women do. Hard pass." But she says, "You know what? You're old. A lot of younger guys like adventurous women." And I go, "Older guys like adventurous women. We just don't like it when you purposely do something to your face that makes it look worse. And I don't get it because women are so obsessed with image. Why are you doing the weird fake eyelash stuff? Why are you doing the crazy alien eye color contact thing? Why are you doing the swine ring? I don't get it, And to be honest, when I see that, I start thinking about psychologically what would make a woman staple metal into her face just to be different or special or be noticed. And then the funny twist is that the fat is so popular that more women are doing this than not. So you're not different. You're not rebelling. You're actually part of the herd, which is funny because it's for cattle. But she says, a lot of people find this beautiful. And I said, if you took a picture of you with a facial piercing and without it, I would say 90% of men would choose the picture of you without the ring. Okay? On the flip side, if you did the same thing and showed women, I would think probably 70% of women would think you look cool, better with all the accoutrements in your face. And, if you did crazy shit to your hair or whatever's different, crazy, fucking loud, more women would like that. And I don't know where I was going with that, but hopefully, women, if you're listening, you say stuff like, yeah, we do it to feel beautiful, and our individuality, and no, you don't realize it, but you're doing it in competition of other women. You see your friends fake tanning, so then all of a sudden you look orange or brown because you've tanned too much. You see your friend with super long eyelashes and you're like, fuck you, bitch. I am gonna wear 4-inch long eyelashes. No man wants you to come near his penis when you have those huge alien claws on. I'll talk to women and they do this thing when they're, I'll go into a phone place and the chick in there, I'll be like, oh yeah, blah, blah, it's kind of hard with my claws on because I can't. Yeah, we don't find that attractive. You're doing it, to impress other women, maybe, but I think it's more of a competition jealousy thing. Have enough self-confidence to be good in your own skin. You don't need to put on a mask of makeup, okay? You are more beautiful without all of that shit. Trust me. Men do not want that shit. When you ask us how we look after putting all that shit on your face, we will lie and say, you look damn good, babe. Because we know if we say, ooh, I don't like that metal steak sticking out of your cheek and both cheeks and your nose and kind of looks like Hellraiser. That's gonna end up in a fight because you can't tell a woman what to do with her body, okay? But men, it is our job to tell them when they're doing fucking something stupid. And we need to be more vocal about getting these women to take their swine rings out. Thanks for listening to Uncle Rico's Storytime. Please like, share, and subscribe, unless you are a current employee of my workplace. Then just shoot me a text and tell me you were very funny. Peace out.